and greetings from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. We recently spent a week road tripping the island, and what an adventure that was. This was our 4th summer exploring Nova Scotia, and this time around, we focused on southern Cape Breton, specifically the area between St. Peter's and Port Hastings. I think this is a really interesting area to visit because it is very accessible. Port Hastings is the first town you hit if you're crossing via the Canso Causeway, the only land access point to the island, so it's a logical starting point and it makes a lot of sense for travelers who want to see a bit of Cape Breton without having to drive too far. We spent our week in southern Cape Breton doing an iconic sail from lake to sea, feasting on seafood at every meal, tackling different hiking trails, and enjoying the warm hospitality the island is known for. So hit that subscribe button and join us as we explore southern Cape Breton. Hello, hello.
Good morning, guys.
So, for our first activity of the day, we are getting ready to go on a boat tour of the St. Peter's Canal, and we're gonna get to learn about their lock system and how the Bras d'Or Lake flows into the ocean. And you know, they've got different tides and things like that, so there's a bit of a system to get the boats to go from lake to sea.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the part of Canada where going on a boat is practically your birthright. I mean, Nova Scotia is surrounded by water. It's considered Canada's ocean's playground, and I can't wait for us to go out sailing today.
The St. Peter's Canal National Historic Site is an 800-meter tidal lock canal designed to compensate for the tidal differences between the ocean and the lake. The canal traces its history back to a traditional Mi'kmaq portage route and later a fortified 17th century French trading post. The lock has double gates that close in a diamond shape, and this is because depending on the tides, it could be the lakeside or the ocean side that has the higher water levels. We did our tour through Richmond Adventure Planning sailboat tours aboard the Cúna Mara, which is a Celtic word meaning hound of the sea. The tour was an hour and a half in length, and we got to learn about the history of the canal and also hear about some of the fun events that take place during the year, like Swim the Canal. Will he make it? You made it! That was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun.
All right, guys, we are back in the car because it's starting to rain. We finished that tour just in time.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. And we got to sail through the St. Peter's Canal.
It was amazing, and Gordon was a fantastic guide.
Yes.
Very nice gentleman. Couldn't have had a better captain. Very relaxed, very friendly.
Yeah.
The scenery was incredible. And it was fascinating to see the procedure of how they open the canal.
Yeah, so basically we were entering from the lakeside towards the ocean. So first they had to stop traffic, and like this bridge swings open, the boat goes through, and then you have these two sets of locks that swing open because obviously the water level between the lake and the ocean, it's different, and at its highest it can be up to 3 feet. So you kind of enter the lock mechanism, then the water level either drops or rises, and then the next set of locks opens and off you go.
And once they had that part ready, we were out sailing.
Yeah. So it is quite the procedure, but very cool to see. I think that was my first time going through a lock system.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the thing to do if you're in this part of Cape Breton, kind of like the southeastern shore.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it for sure. It's just I mean, when you're in Nova Scotia, you got to get out on a boat and you got to explore the waters.
After the sailing tour, we drove down to Isle Madame, where we stopped to have lunch at the Island Nest in Arisha. We got their fisherman platter with haddocks, scallops, shrimp, and clam strips with a side of french fries and coleslaw. The portions were pretty big, so you can probably share the platters. Their menu also featured fish and chips, fish burgers, and breaded shrimp, so you basically come here for the seafood. So guys, I am here with my clam chowder. It is so good, like it's such a cold, rainy day. So this is exactly what I wanted. It has haddock, clams, lobster, a little bit of everything. And vegetables too. Oh, there's celery, potato. This is just perfect for the weather.
Oh my gosh, I have an amazing seafood platter. Come check this out.
Look at that.
Shrimp,
Ooh.
clams, haddock, and last but not least, scallops. And I've got 3 different sauces: gravy, homemade gravy for the fries, seafood sauce, and then tartar sauce.
Fried scallops are my favorite.
They're the best, guys. Look at that. Oh, the tartar sauce.
Nice.
Amazing.
Back in the car.
Yes.
How's that meal?
Oh, so satisfying. It's really our first taste of the seafood that we're going to be having while we're in Nova Scotia. So
Yes.
what a delightful treat it was.
You eat well on the island.
Oh yeah. Full, satisfied, not gut busting, but that was a nice big hearty meal and the perfect kind of food, something to warm us up as it's raining a little bit.
And we're gonna do price point as is always requested. That meal was $48.
Yeah.
So $24 per person. And we got the fisherman's platter, the clam chowder, the iced tea and ginger ale.
And the gravy, the homemade
And the gravy and the biscuits and the crackers.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next attraction we're bringing you to, it's called the Lenoir Forge. This is a historical building right behind me, and we've just learned that this place used to be a ship's chandlery, an ice house, and a tavern, as well as a forge. So it's had a lot of different uses over the years. So we're gonna bring you in, show you some historical artifacts, and try not to get blown away by this wind. Twice a week during the summer months, they have a blacksmithing demonstration. The schedule is Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 4 p.m. during July and August, but be sure to check for updated information before you visit. They also offer a 30-minute walk-in blacksmithing experience where participants get to make a small souvenir under the guidance of the blacksmith. So, aside from the forge here at the Lenoir Forge, they also have these 3 buildings that they call shanties. And they're using each of these buildings to kind of showcase what life was like in the area back in the day. So the one we're in at the moment is the schoolhouse. Hey, Sam.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
It just has a very specific smell inside of here. You walk in, you're like,
The wood,
woody.
the chalk.
It smells like being in a woodshed. And it's amazing to see the desks that were used. The classic chalkboard. I'm old enough to have used one of these. I wonder if you guys have. This is like stepping back in time.
And you know what? I went to a rural school in Argentina, so I actually used these desks that you can see here. And
Are you serious?
yes,
These
those ones.
Oh wow.
And believe it or not, we actually also had a stove like this that one of the students would have to feed in the wintertime.
No way.
I know, it's hard to believe, but this is, I mean, it feels like Little House on the Prairie, like that type of school.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of nice.
This isn't stepping back in time. This is just reliving your childhood. That's fascinating. We're in the next building. And as you can see, it's a kitchen and a dining area.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's meant to showcase, you know, kind of utensils and just items they had in a kitchen, a dining area back in the day.
What's really capturing my attention is just the stove. And these things are built to last. Like, this will outlast any modern appliance if it's kept well. I mean, it's just so heavy duty made. It's incredible.
You know what? I'd like to have a stove like that one day.
I would
A
too.
cooking stove.
I'd use it, you know.
Yeah.
For sure. It'd be cool to, you know, fire it up the old-fashioned way and cook, you know.
Want to get me one for our Argentine home, the South American one?
Yeah, we'll save up for it. How's that?
After visiting the Lenoir Forge, we continued our loop around Isle Madame and drove to Lennox Passage Provincial Park. This park is located on the north side of Isle Madame, so it's one of the first places you come across when you drive onto the island. Bit of a rainy one, a bit of a wet day, but we have driven over to Lennox Passage Provincial Park,
Yes.
where we can visit the Grand Dique Point Lighthouse. So that's where we're bringing you along to check out this cute little lighthouse.
Yep.
They're very small in this area, but very, I don't know, there's something sweet
They
about
feel
them.
like historic and rustic,
Yes.
and they are sweet, and their locations tend to be fabulous. So
Yes.
yeah, we're gonna enjoy this one right here.
Aside from being home to Grand Dique Point Lighthouse, Lennox Passage Provincial Park also has 2 kilometers of shoreline as well as hiking trails through the forest. We then made our way back to the Groundswell Pub and Inn, which also happened to be where we stayed on Isle Madame. This place serves up some great food, and it was recommended to us by locals over and over again, so be sure to check it out if you're in the area. Bourbon maple syrup scallops?
Like
Bacon?
every ingredient I love, and they're all combined. I haven't even taken a bite, but I'm so excited for this.
I'm salivating behind the camera.
That's way too good. Where do I begin? Crunchiness of the bacon, juiciness of the scallops, it absorbs the maple syrup and the bourbon.
And then for the mains, Sam got the Cajun linguine with shrimp, which was divine. The sauce was so rich and creamy that I kept stealing bites. And meanwhile, I ordered the Thai green curry with haddock and rice. I like this twist on a Southeast Asian dish using local Cape Breton seafood. And now, while we're talking about the Groundswell, I want to mention that aside from delicious food and great music, they also offer a variety of accommodations. You can choose between staying at the inn, where each of the rooms are named after a different song by the Beatles, or their 2-bedroom cottage, which is where we stayed. The cottage is right by the sea, and it felt rustic, warm, and cozy. Plus, we also got to enjoy some spectacular sunrises. Another place not to be missed in St. Peter's is Battery Provincial Park, which can be accessed from the St. Peter's Canal. You just have to walk across the Lock Bridge to the east side and you're there. This provincial park sits on a hill overlooking St. Peter's Bay, and it is home to Jerome Point Lighthouse. You can enjoy some really nice panoramic views of the town of St. Peter's from this point, plus you can watch the sailboats and fishing boats make their way through the canal and out to sea. The park also offers plenty of hiking trails to enjoy, plus lots of campsites with epic sea views. Another nice activity to enjoy in St. Peter's is a walk along the St. Peter's Coastal Trail. This is a 3.5-kilometer trail, one way, that stretches from St. Peter's Canal to River Tillard along the St. Peter's Bay. The trail is on a converted railway bed, and it's a grassy trail with several access points to the beach. You also get some really nice views of Battery Provincial Park and the Jerome Point Lighthouse. Plus, it's just so nice to listen to those rolling waves and enjoy the sea breeze. We lucked out meeting this German Shepherd on the beach who wanted to play. Yeah, I'm getting him. Wow. During our visit to St. Peter's, we also ate at the Lockmasters Pub, which is located at the Brador Lakes Inn. Sam got the surf and turf, which came with steak and the lobster claw and a side of mashed potato swirls. Meanwhile, I got their pan-seared scallops served with a pea and lobster risotto. Their menu also featured all the pub food classics plus lots of seafood pasta, and the best part was that they had live music in the evening. Well guys, we are at Miller's, starting off with the clam chowder for our appetizer. It looks so good. We've been having quite a bit of clam chowder on this trip, and this one is the creamiest, thickest one I have seen so far. It comes with clams, lobster, shrimp, and haddock. Look at that! Ooh la la! This is gonna be good, I can just tell. That is how it's done. That's so good. It also has potato, and on the side, a bit of garlic bread.
My goodness, I have an exciting lunch. I love my mac and cheese. You can get it with lobster. These are the chunks of lobster I'm getting. Check, look at that. And look how cheesy this is. That is going to be the first bite. Whole new level. It's like the Mount Everest of mac and cheese, really.
Wow, high praise for the mac and cheese.
When you add lobster.
And then, it comes with?
Yeah, it comes with sweet potato fries and more garlic bread and a chipotle dip here.
And I opted for the seafood pasta. I got the fettuccine, which comes with mussels, black tiger shrimp, a white wine sauce, bacon, scallops. And that combination of seafood and bacon, I would recommend.
Seafood and bacon is amazing.
Yes. After all that food, we decided we needed some fresh air and a walk, so we drove to the Port Hawkesbury Community Trails. Well guys, we have arrived at our next destination. We are now in Port Hawkesbury, and we're checking out the Port Hawkesbury Community Trails. There's a lot of hiking to do here, so yeah, we're super pumped, super excited. The rain is holding off, and the temperature is actually quite agreeable. So we're looking forward to heading into the woods and just enjoying a bit of nature. Also, lots of different trails to choose from, and they all have tree names. So we've got the Hemlock Trail, the Maple Trail, the Spruce Trail. Right now we're hitting up the Tamarack Trail. So yeah, this is really nice. It's been a while since I went hiking, so it's always nice to be out in the greenery.
Isn't it fantastic?
Yeah.
I did a little one yesterday while you were warming up. And yeah, this is so nice. It's a beautiful trail system here. And it's not far from the town either. It's like you kind of just head out from the residential area and you're right out here in the woods. It's amazing. Nature is never far in Nova Scotia. So one thing I've noticed here is that there's a lot of the old man's beard moss hanging from some of the branches on the trees here. And I've been told that's a really good sign of the air quality. It means you have really pure, clean air. So that's always really nice to see, and you know, makes you want to take just a deep breath, breathe it in, breathe that evergreen. Just smells so nice and fresh, especially after a rainfall. Like when you walk through a forest right after it's rained, I don't know, that just opens up your lungs. Well, we're having a little giggle here. Can you tell us about the sign? It's a tiny bit sad. There is no poop fairy after all.
There's no poop fairy.
I always believed in one, but apparently there isn't. If your animal takes a poop, especially your dog, you should pick it up because the poop fairy does not exist here on this trail.
All right, guys, another day, another restaurant.
Yep.
We are bringing you to Country Kitchen. This is a restaurant that's been around for over 5 decades now, and they specialize in diner food, hearty meals.
We had an awesome breakfast here earlier this morning, and we're heading back for lunch. I mean, it's literally across the road from where we're staying, so
exactly.
Ultra convenient. And yeah, I think we were looking at the lunch menu. We're thinking about getting the hot turkey sandwich as one of the items. Maybe the fish and chips. We'll see.
He's enjoying the menu.
They do say the liver and onions is a country kitchen tradition. Friends, we are indulging in the ultimate comfort food. Check out this. Hot gravy sandwiches. So basically, you have the classic hot turkey sandwich, and I've got one with a burger instead. I've got the bread covered in gravy, burger in the middle, tons of fries, and corn. Stick in. Okay. Oh yeah. That's so good with the gravy. Gravy for the win, friends. If you're gonna have a sandwich like this though, you better bring your appetite. It's very filling.
Alrighty, so we are out of the restaurant.
Yeah.
I should mention this restaurant is located in the Hearthstone Inn. It is a motel along the highway, but they also do food.
Yeah.
And price points.
Yeah, so we had breakfast and lunch there, and most items were between $8 and $12. So very affordable, very filling meals. So you go there to eat well. And we did that twice today.
Twice today.
We gotta go exercise it off.
We're gonna hike because we are stuffed.
Yep.
Where are we and what are we up to?
We are visiting right up here the Celtic Shores Coastal Trail, which is part of the Great Trail.
Formerly known as the Trans-Canada Trail.
Yeah, and still mostly known as that. Most people don't know it's the Great Trail. We didn't even until recently. But this is a massive trail, guys. Come check out where you can go from. So we've been sort of staying in this area, the Port Hastings area. But now we're at Troy. It goes all the way up here. So basically it finishes in Inverness. This would take, good question, I have no idea how long that would take.
Well, I'll tell you, driving from Port Hastings to Inverness is about an hour and a half.
Okay.
So imagine doing that on foot. It would take you a while, yes. The Celtic Shores Coastal Trail stretches 92 kilometers from Port Hastings to Inverness along the west coast of Cape Breton Island. It mainly follows the coast, going past scenic harbors and fishing communities. We only hiked a small portion of the trail, joining the trailhead in the town of Troy. This is a very easy spot to access for those traveling around the southern part of Cape Breton. Plus, there's a big parking lot and even picnic tables for a seaside lunch. We're doing a little show and tell here because we've been shopping for souvenirs. Tell us about yours.
So we went to the Cape Breton shop. They have a lovely collection of all kinds of things. Really nice clothes, hoodies, t-shirts,
Celtic
caps,
jewelry.
Celtic jewelry. They also had a really nice Celtic scarves as well. And I decided to get this shirt because I'm a little short on shirts on this trip. So
Cape Breton, and it's a moosey moose.
what sold me was the moose and the transposed trees.
Nice.
So, and I also really like green, so it's like, yeah, it ticked off all the boxes. Probably gonna throw this on momentarily.
Momentarily,
So, yeah.
okay. And I got some maple tea. I don't think I've ever tried maple tea before. It's a green tea, so I think this is gonna be really tasty. It feels very Nova Scotian, very Canadian, and it'll be nice for autumn.
Yeah.
One place you can't miss if you're driving to Cape Breton is the Canso Causeway, since this is the only land access point to the island. The Canso Causeway may look like an average crossing, but let me tell you, it's actually a feat of engineering. By definition, a causeway is a raised road or track across low or wet ground. And the Canso Causeway is a road across the Strait of Canso, which connects Cape Breton Island to the Nova Scotia Peninsula. Prior to construction of the causeway, crossing to Cape Breton involved taking a ferry. Yes, even train carriages were loaded onto the ferry to complete the journey. 10 million tons of rock were quarried to fill in the Strait of Canso, which has a depth of 66 meters. It took 27 months of continuous work to create the world's deepest causeway, and it opened to rail and road traffic in May of 1955. So if you find yourself along the southern part of Cape Breton, this is a place worth visiting. Since we were already in the area, we decided to drive across the Canso Causeway and have lunch off the island. We went to the Cove restaurant in Ald's Cove, a nice seaside restaurant with a strong nautical theme. Time for another meal. Hello.
Hey, we have bottomless pit stomachs here. So this time I have ordered Atlantic salmon on rye with cream cheese and capers.
Ooh la la.
That's a nice combo, huh, guys?
Nice.
Oh, that's delectable. Goes beautifully with the cream cheese and capers. Onions too, I should mention. And very high quality toasted bread. Rye bread. Yum.
As for me, I got the fish cakes and some beans. Haven't had fish cakes in such a long time, and I love the saltiness of them. Like the contrast of the saltiness with the sweet beans.
Oh, the beans look so good.
Sweet beans.
That's what I want. I'm negotiating to get some. How are they?
The following day, we continued our travels around southern Cape Breton and made our way to Dundee. This is a small community overlooking the Brador Lake, and it is home to the Dundee Resort and Golf Club. Now, our stay here happened to coincide with the biggest storm of the year, yes, a hurricane, so we didn't get to do many touristy things to share with you all, but there is plenty to do in the area. Just to give you an idea, there's a beautiful coastal drive you can do between West Bay and Roberta. If you want to get out on the water, there are places where you can rent kayaks, canoes, and stand-up paddle boards. Plus, you have Eileen and Bria Vineyards, which is Nova Scotia's northernmost estate winery and Cape Breton's first and only estate winery. If you're a guest at Dundee Resort and Golf Club, or even if you're just passing through Dundee, you can have lunch at McRae's Dining Room, which is located inside the Dundee Resort. We ate here several times over the course of our stay, and the food was fantastic. Sam had an amazing beer-battered, hand-cut haddock served with fries and tartar sauce. It was the best fish and chips we had on the whole trip. Crispy batter, but soft and juicy fish. And since I was on a quest to sample all the chowder across the island, I ordered their seafood chowder with haddock, shrimp, scallops, salmon, potatoes, onions, and celery. This one also made it to the top of the list. It was super creamy and flavorful. Tell us all about today's lunch while I steal a fry, Samuel.
This is fantastic, guys. So I've had some different types of fried seafood here, but I haven't had the fish and chips yet.
Ooh la la.
We've been holding out for one of the classic things to have. So let me hack that open for you, show you how lovely that is. Look at that.
That looks nice.
Doesn't that look good? And we've been already having some fries. They are delicious.
They're amazing.
They're amazing.
Got some tartar sauce, coleslaw.
So let's just dunk this into the tartar sauce. Oh yeah. That's how you eat the fish and chips, friends. Oh. That's so good. If we get stuck here for a few days and we have to keep eating this for lunch, I'll be very happy. Not complaining at all. So good.
As for me, I got the clam chowder. It looks amazing. I've been having a lot of clam chowder on this trip. This is probably like my third bowl, at least. And this one looks fantastic. First of all, the size of the bowl, guys. Can we just appreciate that this is not an appetizer? This is a main.
Oh yeah. Was it?
That's
good?
so creamy.
Creamy goodness, huh?
Oh, there's scallops. Baby. This is gonna be good.
Had a good time since we've been here, huh?
We sure have. Perfect meal for a rainy day.
Yeah, and enjoyed swimming at the pool. Just making the most of it. Yep.
And that's a wrap for a road trip around southern Cape Breton. We hope you enjoyed exploring this part of the island with us. We certainly had a good time. This was our 4th summer in a row visiting Nova Scotia, and it certainly won't be our last. In the meantime, if you have any local recommendations you'd like to share with fellow travelers, be it things to do or places to eat at, feel free to do so in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, we invite you to like, subscribe, and join us for more travel adventures. See you soon!